And time. That's a quick 2 minutes, I know. Did anybody get 11? No? Okay. That's okay. 10. Do we have 10? All right, 9. Do we have 9? Ladies in the front. Excellent job. So what I'll have you guys do, just listening to their systems, see if you had any that they missed. So they did miss 2 systems. Here we go. Give them to me.
We had muscular, skeletal, endocrine, respiratory, urinary, cardiac, reproductive, nervous, and digestive.
10. Did I count 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Sorry, I go happy with one finger. Good. So they're only missing 2 systems, and they are the ones that often go missing. Does anybody know what the 2 systems are?
Lymphatic.
Lymphatic. Good. That's 1.
Stop saying the next one.
Yes, excellent. Integumentary. Integumentary. Good. So those 2 are often go missed. I think those ladies deserve a round of applause. And I don't think you will ever forget how many systems are in the body after this. That's perfect. Let's move on. The next thing we're going to talk about is how, before we get into these systems individually, is how these systems work together. And this is one definition that you need to know. So this is a wink throughout the course. And that's homeostasis. So homeostasis, at its basic form, is systems working together to maintain balance throughout the body. Now, I know you guys have heard that term before, homeostasis. What else can you tell me about homeostasis? What's an example of homeostasis working, for example? And I'll give you a clue. We do it all the time in Canada, because it is freezing there. Ski and snowboard? Absolutely. Snowboarding, let's say snowboarding first and then ski second, but I'll take it. Sorry? Keeping us warm. How do we keep our bodies warm? That's an example of homeostasis in effect. What do? We shiver. Excellent. Good job. So by shivering, our body is help keeping us warm. And that's bringing us back to homeostasis. Another example, which you do in Australia all the time, I was doing it on the Gold Coast this weekend, is the opposite of shivering. What do we do when it's boiling hot? Sweat. Excellent. So that is another example of what our body does to help maintain homeostasis. How does sweating help maintain homeostasis? Yep, cools the body. Absolutely. It's cooling our skin down and hopefully dropping our body temperature back to the normal temperature that it wants for homeostasis. Any questions about the term homeostasis? Does that make a bit more sense?
That makes sense.
Yep. All right. These are your need to knows tonight. So I'd like you to star these organ systems. We need to know these 7 systems tonight. First of all, we're going to look at our skeletal system, our muscular system, our nervous system, our respiratory system, our cardiovascular system, digestive, and endocrine system. So these are the 7 that you would want to star. And the other 4 are going to be nice to knows. But I will go through the other 4 so that you leave knowing somewhat a little bit about each. But I want you to know these 7 in detail. But you'll know a bit about each after this evening. The first two are very important to us as PTs, as you could probably imagine. We're going to get into the skeletal system to start, but what's involved in the skeletal system? What do you guys know about it already? Bones, yeah, absolutely. So what would we be like without bones? Stiff? Yeah, stiff's a good example, absolutely. Or a blob on the ground, that too, definitely. So we know that bones maintain structure. What else do bones do? Help create movement. We need bones in order for these guys to create movement. We're going to get into movement a bit more in the muscular system, but absolutely. Sorry?
Do something with red blood cells, like transfusion or something like that?
Yeah, well
The marrow?
yeah, within the bone marrow. Absolutely, good. We're going to take a closer look at that right now. Excellent. So within our skeletal system, and this is what we've got right here, our structure is made up of our bones, ligaments, cartilage, and joints. So those are the main structures. Now, another wink, and it's on an E-check coming up, is the difference between a ligament and what else? What's the other thing? A tendon. You need to know what the difference between a ligament and a tendon is. So what do ligaments do? It's giving you the answer right there. Connect.
A line?
Pardon?
A line?
Yeah, they connect a line, and they connect what to what?
Joints.
Joints and bones to bones. Definitely, good. So the question will be, what do ligaments connect? And ligaments, I don't know why this helps me, but I think ligaments leg, they connect bone to bone. Bone to bone. Therefore, we've got a tendon, which would connect what? Muscle to bone, yeah, or bone to muscle, same diff, excellent. So if you don't know that off by heart, that's one thing that you might want to write down in your notes for later for an E-check coming up. It's just a good one to know right off the hop. Our skeletal system, and that is where we get into that blood cell formation and storage. It functions for support, protection, you guys nailed these, movement, blood cell formation within the bone marrow itself, and storage within the bone as well. Now, to show how important all of these functions are, what I'll have you guys do is, front row, if you wouldn't mind, standing up and walking to the front of the classroom, but I want you to imagine that you no longer have any joint control in your knees or in your ankles. So the only joint that has movement is in your hips. No movement in your upper body as well, only in your hips. Okay, and I'll have you walk forward and come to the front of the class for me. You guys tell me how they're doing. Good, that is a very good example right there. Yep, excellent, good. No movement in your arms, no movement in the arms. Yep, good. Yep, that's good. Yep, excellent. A little too much in the ankles there. You need to, yeah, more like a penguin. Good. All right, hold up there, team. Very well done. Now, to get back to your seats, I want you to imagine that you no longer have a hip joint either. You have to try to get back to your seat without your hip joint. And can't do that. It was a trick question. Give them a round of applause so they can. So super important. Without bones, we would not have movement at all. So that is the basic underlying skeletal system. Next up, and one of my favorite, is our muscular system. So our structure, we already know this because we just went over it, includes our muscles and our tendons. And let me see if everyone's paying attention. Young lady in the back, what do tendons attach?
Muscles to bone.
Yes. Let's get rid of that. You Chris looked really positive and smiley back there, so I was like, I need to ask her, because she looks like she wants to answer something. All right. Function. These guys are a big one, a really important one to us as a PT as well, because they function for movement, maintenance of body posture. And we're going to get into how important posture is later on in PT, but we can actually transform somebody's poor posture and change their entire lives, make them feel better, more open from personal training. So posture is going to become a really big aspect, and it's a huge thing that you can use in your business out in the industry as well. Production of heat. How does it produce heat? I touched on this earlier. How do muscles produce heat? Yep, so through shivering, for example, but also they produce heat when you train, don't they? 100%. So that's a byproduct of training. You actually have two byproducts of training. You've got heat, which is energy, and the other one, which we have already gone through, sweat. O2, absolutely. You guys are on it. Thank you. Great class tonight. Tell you what, we're going to demonstrate the muscular system by the best way I know how, being Canadian, and you guys are going to find the most suitable partner, and we're going to have an arm wrestle. So all of my two ladies in the front, come on up to the front chair. Everyone else, grab a partner of about equal size. We'll go over the rules of the arm wrestle. So we need to go how important the muscles are. I saw you doing that. Good. Grab yourself a partner. All right. Okay, hold up, team, for 1 second before you get started. Just a review of the rules so we don't have any cheaters. All right, so elbows down. You can do it a couple different ways. I like to have the other hand just flat, just like you have it. Good. And no turning of the wrist. The second that the wrist turns in and you start bringing it into your side, that's game over. You have to keep it straight. So it's straight up and down. So going from one side or the other. I'm going to start these ladies off because we all want to watch and see it.
Come on, Amy!
So when I say go, these two ladies are showing off their muscular power. It's going to stay